And quite happy to see it off into touch. The Ulster support, all 11,500 of them, will go home very happy, certainly with the second half performance this evening. They were behind at half time. They came back to score 5 unanswered tries and win the second half by 35 points to 0. And over the course of the 80 minutes, on the scoreboard at least, it looks like the most facile of victories. Benetton kept it really competitive for 40 minutes, but blown away in the second half. Ulster 47, Benetton 13. Tail of the tape in the second half tells its own story. One-way traffic right from the time that James Hume scored that try. Nice to see Harry Sheridan get in for the try, and certainly the penalty try as well. Ulster really plundering out wide in those channels, but Benetton just ran out of gas. They ran out of options and resources. They're bereft of 7 or 8 key players coming here this evening, and it showed over the course of the game.
Yeah, it did show, and I thought Ulster, with the team selection that they had against the team selection of Benetton, that it was going to be one-way traffic, and I thought it was going to come a lot earlier in the game, to be quite honest. And that's maybe just down to a bit of grit and a bit of determination, as I chatted about with Benetton. They'll go home obviously very disappointed, but they're missing half their team here. They're going to regroup and they'll get back on the wagon. They're too good a side not to come good with some of the players that they have at their disposal. But the big game players, yet again, Conor stood up for Ulster tonight. Jacob Stockdale was immense. Werner Koch, brilliant once more. The heart that he shows every time he has the ball or he's leaning in to make a tackle, and everybody else follows. And with a couple of injuries as well, to Matty Dalton and of course Ian Henderson in the warm-up, I thought they coped really, really well.
Yeah, that's the real concern for Ulster, particularly that injury to Ian Henderson. It didn't look great for young Matthew Dalton either, but yeah, some big performances. And Werner Koch, he's such a different player, isn't he, as well, to the likes of Jacques Ward and in particular Jacob Stockdale and Rob Baloucoune. Let's hope that Matthew Dalton is okay. Tip of the hat to Charlie Irvine, who came in at late notice and then came also very early into the game to play his part. For 2 tries tonight for Werner Koch, a couple for Rob Baloucoune. James Hume also performing really well. But on they go to European competition on the back of a 4th win in 5 games, which will keep them at the end of the weekend right up there in terms of the table and those playoff places, always with that game in hand, looking ahead to what's a really difficult, of course, Christmas campaign. Leinster away, Ulster then going to Connacht and Munster. Munster at home here across the new year. Europe before all that, of course, as Stevie said, a really big crowd expected for Racing at home, and then it's away to Cardiff in the Challenge Cup. Another defeat though for Callum McRae and Benetton as they look to try and find a little bit of form before they play themselves out of contention. You can't afford to lose too many games in what's always a really tightly bunched middle section of this pro URC table in the chase for those top 8 positions. But certainly missing a lot of their really big star names this evening. Ulster scoring freely though, again 47 points on the ledger, 49 points the last day in defeat, but still scored 31 against the Lions, racked up 40 plus here against the Dragons, and really good against the Bulls and the Shark, the 2 marquee performances across the season. Interesting to see how they approach the European Challenge Cup campaign, but all smiles on the face of Jacob Stockdale there. He would have loved to get himself a try this evening. He had 2 or 3 opportunities, but in the end didn't matter. 7 tries across the 80 minutes for Ulster. Right then, Jude Postlethwaite was Darren Cave and Stephen Ferris's nominee for Player of the Match, and he's standing by with Paul Marshall.
Nick, if you could give Jude his BKT URC Player of the Match medal, please.
Thanks, bro.
Jude, it took a while to break down Benetton, but once the floodgates opened, it was just try after try. How do you sum that one up?
Yeah, credit to Benetton. I thought they were really good in the first half. The second half, I sort of thought we played more of our game and showed what we could do in attack. So, yeah, credit to the lads.
And you got an opportunity tonight. Stuart McCluskey's had opportunities this year. You've been waiting at times. How important was it for you to get your say on the pitch out there tonight? Yeah, it's big boots to fill, but the amount of chat I have with McCluskey during the week and everything, it makes me go into the games confident, and I'm just glad that I'm able to showcase what I can do. Yeah, we were able to see you making line breaks, offloading. There was one phase, you made a line break, you then get on to give the winning pass or the scoring pass through an offload. So is that something you've been working on, trying to get the ball alive? Yeah, that's the sort of stuff I used to do back in the Sevens days, but I feel like the team shape and the attack structure we have now allows people to do that, so yeah. And just, I was going to ask there as well about at half-time, obviously going in 13-12, what was the message? Because it was 35 unanswered points in the second half. Yeah, it was just keep the pressure, let our game do the talking. I feel like we had points that we could have got in the first half, and we were just handling errors after handling errors, and then the second half I felt like we could be stuck a wee bit more. It was certainly exciting. I'm going to pull in your captain here, Nick Timoney. Nick, if you could grab the mic. Yeah. Nick, you've had a busy few weeks with the internationals as well, involvement in Japan and Australia. How enjoyable was that to be back out with Ulster tonight?
Yeah, incredibly enjoyable. Nothing like a Friday night at home for us. We obviously loved them, and tough first half, but obviously we enjoyed ourselves in the second half. Happy with how we played, obviously.
And Ian Henderson pulled out just before kick-off. Matty Dalton goes off early. Charlie Irvine, who wasn't on the matchday squad, ends up playing nearly a full game. How did that change things and shape things in terms of set piece?
It did and didn't. Harry obviously had to step up into the calling role, which I thought he did a very good job in. Charlie's stepped in seamlessly. He's an unbelievable young player. Just shows, I feel like, the young talent we have. It's like obviously not ideal to have your captain step out, but the lad stepped up seamlessly. I was really happy with them.
And what were you saying out in the pitch? Because it obviously took a wee while to break them down. What sort of messages were you giving? You're one of the older, wiser heads out there.
I wouldn't say that. I felt we got a tiny bit frustrated in the first half, but it felt like it was coming. We went in at half-time a point down, but it kind of felt like we'd maybe played more of the rugby. So just not let the frustration get in the way, keep doing the right things, keep maybe holding the ball a tiny bit better, keep our discipline a tiny bit better, and we knew it was going to come for us, and thankfully it did.
Well, another bonus point win. Well done, Nick.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Paul. We'll get some more reaction from more of the Ulster players. Nathan Doak is with us. Nathan, your thoughts overall in that 80 minutes?
First half, we commanded the blocks really well. We actually played some really good rugby in the tough wind, and we kind of just forced it a wee bit, and things didn't quite stick. Give them a bit of life going into half time, and then second half, we kind of kept the ball in play, and then just tried to wear them down. We knew they'd go away if we just kept at it and kept the ball in play, and we did that, and we got our rewards with 47 points at the end.
What was the message at half-time? Because we could see the shots of your coaching box. They weren't particularly happy. Were they ranting and raving at half-time, or was everything calm?
No, it was calm. Like, we were frustrated as players as well. So the coaches were very good. They kept us calm. And the second half was the message we were sent all week. Keep going at them. They will go away. They can't keep up with our speed of play, the ball in play time. We knew they'd go away, and we just had to have confidence in the plan that we had during the week. And the second half, that's when it came into fruition. We got some transition. We got the boys in the backfield, the ball, and things kind of went our way then.
Dougie, you seem to, like you did struggle with their physicality in the first half. That's a hard thing to fix with the wind or with a bit of shouting. Like, what caused the turnaround there? Second half was a different story.
It just happens sometimes, it kind of takes like a spark. I'm not sure what it is, but Jude, he was putting in some big shots on his carries and his D, Werner and D. It's wee things like that just kind of spark you. If you're around that, you go, oh, geez, I'm going to get involved with that as well. So you kind of feed off each other, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there was a lot of that in the second half, it felt, which kind of sparked us on. Just small moments turn into big moments, and that's where it kind of comes from.
So I wanted to pick up there. You mentioned the transition attack before. You look particularly dangerous when went like from kick receipt playing off that. Whenever they drop the ball, like that back line in particular, you must be loving playing there. They just come to life.
Yeah, definitely. Like, we're aware of it. Like, we want the ball. We want the ball in space for the boys, and we're confident in our transition. So things are going well for us there. So we want to keep going after it, whether it's from kicking into transition and stuff like that. you look at the team sheet, you give the back three the ball, they're going to cause some issues, and Jude was trying to sneak in there as well.
It's also the speed of the ball retention is extraordinary this season, the difference between this season and last. Nathan, and you're obviously benefiting from that too, because you're getting cleaner, crisper, quicker ball. Was that something that you worked in a lot off season?
Yeah, well, like, I can't play quick unless the forwards give me that, and fair play to them. Like, they've worked so hard over pre-season, Jimmy and Mark and Richie. Like, the lads have been getting at the breakdown. We need to have left and right simultaneous spirals, and that allows us to then get into transition, to get into play quick. And you can see when we do play quick and we play to space, we're going to be tough to stop, and we love doing it. So
is it more enjoyable?
Definitely, yeah. Like, of course it's going to be more enjoyable, but it's also enjoyable because it's hard work. Like, it just doesn't happen. You got to make it happen. And the boys up front, they do that. And we obviously get the plaudits at the end with the backs, but the boys up front, you got to give them something. I can't play quick unless they give me the ball.
Yeah.
So,
Doakie, what happened with the first kick? What happened? From the sticks?
sometimes you miss them.
Tell us, was the kick to Baloucoune? I was asking Stuart McCluskey at half time, but he said he hadn't been in training all week, which wasn't really a surprise. Was that a pre-call move, or was that just heads up rugby?
No,
it was a serious
just,
spot.
Heads up rugby.
Just instinctive genius.
Yeah, just that good.
I wasn't, in fairness, I've been working with Mark about staying off the ball and being able to scan, and I stayed off the ball, and I kind of linked eyes with Cat, and I thought, why not?
Yeah, let him go after it. And
have a go.
talk us too about yourself at the minute. Like a couple of years ago, everyone thought you were going to be in green on the cusp of Ireland. You were asked to play 10 for a while. Some of the form's been unbelievable so far this year. Jameson Gibson Park's getting older. You must have aspirations to kick on in green.
Yeah, everyone does, you know what I mean? Unfortunately, I didn't get in there in November, but I just want to keep banging the door down, playing well for Ulster, make sure Ulster keep playing well. That's where my head's at. There's 10 games on a bounce here. I just want to play well out here. I'm loving playing with the boys. I just want to keep enjoying it. That's the main thing.
Got to ask you about your captain. What happened to him? He did the coin toss. Coin toss, if I can say that. Coin toss, and then didn't appear. What happened to Ian?
I actually wasn't too sure. I think he might have hurt himself in the warm-up. I'm not too sure to what extent or what he did, but I believe he might have hurt himself in the warm-up. So hopefully he's okay, but I'm not actually too sure.
Yeah, big moment, big night for them for Charlie.
It's a big night for Charlie because obviously Matty Dalton, picked up that injury as well early on in the game. So that's going to be a talking point obviously this week in the media with such a big game next week. But all Doakie's got to do is focus on himself, make sure he's preparing right, getting the team preparing right. And if they keep putting in performances like that, more people are going to follow him, watch them, because it's such an attractive brand of rugby to watch.
Yeah, well, it was Ian Henderson's only contribution tonight, and it was a good one. 13-12 to pick which way to play. Talk to us about the Challenge Cup then. For a lot of Ulster fans, disappointed initially to be in it. Like, how's the squad viewing it? Are we going to see changes? Like, part of me thinks it's actually a real opportunity for Ulster to go and do something that they haven't done for too long. I was about to say 15 years. It's a lot more, actually.
Yeah, the squad, it doesn't really matter what competition it's in. If anyone's coming to Kingspan, we have the mentality we're going to turn up, and they're not going to get it easy here. No matter who comes, no matter what competition. I think we're getting there. We're nowhere near there yet. You know what I mean? We've only played 4 games or whatever it is.
5.
So 5.
Roughly 4.
But we're just keep trying to build momentum, and kind of have the mentality we want to get better every week. So up next week's just another opportunity for us to come out and keep getting better, and we want to be there at the end of the season, and we can't let a week go by and miss an opportunity to get better. It's kind of where our heads are at.
Well, that's what you're doing at the moment, Nathan. Thank you very much for joining us. Keep up the good work.
Cheers, Nathan.
Cheers.
Cheers. We'll take the mic, and you can go and get yourself warm. Well played. Thanks, Nathan.
See you later.
Another good game for him.
Yeah, he exited really well in the first half, and then, as I said in commentary, there seemed to be a bit of a change in tactic, just to knock it as long as possible down to Rhino Smith, let him run it back, and then put huge heat and pressure on him and attack the breakdown. And yeah, he hasn't really put a foot wrong, has he, so far at the start of the season? So congratulations to him, because I'm sure his head was turned at some stages, Cavey, over the last couple of years.
But we put the question to him as well. This faster game that they're playing, he's relishing in that.
Yeah, it absolutely suits him, and I think there will be questions of this Ulster team when they come up against a big physical mutant of a team. We saw them struggle in the first half, but again, it's that some of their launch play attack, and when they receive those kicks, they find their shape so quickly, and I just love how short and slick some of their passing is, their decoy runners, their backs using their depth really well. Jude Postlethwaite, who was rightly player of the match, a couple of times he takes the ball deep, he's loads of time, but then he gets around the corner and straightens, makes really good decisions, and as you say, he's been instrumental to it. I asked him about it. I think we mentioned at the start of the show, a couple of years ago, it was nip and tuck between him and Craig Casey. Craig got the break and was playing more games for a better Munster team, but watch this space.
Let's get some more reaction from some of the other Ulster players who are with Paul Marshall.
Graham, thank you very much. We're going to go and see if I can get some of these guys over here. I've got my old mate, Dave Shanahan.
Hello,
Dave.
How are you?
Dave getting his 100th game tonight. Dave, how much did you enjoy that?
Yeah, it was brilliant. For the game itself, it definitely opened up at the end there. So as you know yourself, Marshy, it's better crack as a 9 when it's like that. But yeah, then making 100 cap, it's obviously a dream come true. Like get 100 caps in a club like this, like a club that means so much to me. You know, I never really thought that it would happen. It's shaky. Yeah, like there's definitely times over the last couple of years where my game time was a bit like sparse and stuff. So yeah, I was delighted. Finally, sort of got over the hump. Yeah.
And you've seen so many scrum halves through your time. If you were picking your favourite, would it be me?
You would be Marshy. You're the one I base my whole game on. Like.
You're very kind. Listen, it was great to see you get your 100th. It's really deserved, Dave. You've been a great stalwart for Ulster, and many more to come. Brilliant. I'm going to keep moving on. Oh, there's Stuart Moore up here. We'll get Stuart. He's only just back in, making you work. Stu, I need to borrow you. Oh, yes. Sorry, lads. I'm taking him away. Stuart, you're back in. You were away. How good is it to be back out there?
Yeah, very enjoyable. First game this season for Ulster, which is you don't take for granted. So I really enjoyed that, and luckily the scoreline was pretty good too.
And I know you had a quick cameo at Newcastle. You got a hat-trick, so you must be feeling confident.
Yeah, we've never scored a hat-trick in my pro career before, so yeah, that was enjoyable as well. And yeah, I had 3.5 weeks there, which was really good fun. And yeah, I actually need to see how they get on tonight. Don't know, you know? No?
I don't know, sorry. I was watching you guys. And here, tell me this final question. There's a big run of games coming up. You'll obviously love to be involved in those, and hopefully that's whet the appetite tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, if I can get to 23 any week, it's really special to me. So yeah, fingers crossed, and just stay available.
I'd rather see you in an Ulster shirt than a Newcastle one. Good to see you, Stu. Good to see you. We'll go here. There's Jacob. I feel like we had Jacob before the game, so I might just go on past him. We'll leave him be. Come on, we'll get Bryn Ward, because it's his first time playing here. Bryn, come get me. Here, your first home game for Ulster in a pro game. How did that feel?
Oh, unreal. Like, it's a dream of mine to play here, and to come out of the second half like that and the lads put in a performance. It was an easy game to come into whenever they got a hold of the game, but yeah, so enjoyable and something I always remember.
And how much have you been learning this year? Obviously Jarno's come in and he's been explosive, but you're so like Jarno.
Yeah, no, like he's been so good for me. Like he's always given me tips in training, and he's a good role model like for myself, because the way he carries himself around the place and things like that there, he's really someone to look up to, and he's been going really well, so it's great to see.
Did your big brother have any wise words for you tonight?
Yeah, he was a bit miffed he wasn't playing, but he's hoping to be back out hopefully next week or something like that there. But yeah, he just sort of said take everything in and enjoy it.
Brilliant, you were super. We'll
Cheers,
see many
Marcy.
more shirts. We'll just get one more, maybe Charlie Irvine. Charlie, can I bother you?
Yeah.
So I have to ask you, right? You're 24th man, you're maybe having a cup of tea and a little bit of shortbread, and then all of a sudden you end up on the bench, then all of a sudden you end up on the pitch within 10 minutes.
Yeah.
How do you sum that up?
I don't even know how you sum it up. Like, it's one of those days. I was meant to play for Queens tomorrow, and I was meant to do the warm up and then go home, and go and play for Queens. But like, you know, that's class to get out. That's my first time playing here at the Affidea. What a way to do it. Like, bit of a in the deep end, but you know, like, no, wouldn't want it anyway. And great to get a win. Like.
But it shows that you know your detail. You might not have been in the matchday squad, but you came on, you did a job, the lineout still functioned. You must be really doing the work in behind the scenes, waiting for that opportunity.
Yeah, like I've been working hard in training, working hard in sort of matches and playing for the A's, playing the AIL, like just ready for this opportunity. And I knew
knew with this big 10-game block it would come, but didn't really expect it to be coming this week already. But I'm not going to complain at all.
You were super tonight, well done. I'm on my tiptoes, Graham, so I'm actually trying to talk to Charlie, and it's hurting my calves, so back to you.
I feel your pain, Marshy, I feel your pain. 6 tries for Ulster, their status as the top try-getters in the league, secure for another week, you would imagine. We'll have analysis and some more reaction when we come back. Stevie and Darren are still with me. Let's get straight into the analysis, lads. It was kind of a very raggedy period. 10 minutes before half-time and 10 minutes after half-time for Ulster, Stevie. The James Hume try really seemed to settle them a bit.
Yeah, and they probably took the wrong option at the time to go out the back, but they couldn't get a foothold. There was no continuity early in the second half, and that was probably more credit to Benetton for just sticking in there and making a bit of a dogfight. But once Ulster get rocking, once they get momentum, as Doak said, once they play fast and furious and get over the gain line, then they are a hard team to stop. You can just see Baloucoune was working really, really hard, and he was maybe in the eye line. I think it was Umaga just out the back, and he makes a bit of a terrible tackle, and James Hume backs himself here. You just see sort of almost corner flagging a little bit, Katie, wasn't he?
Yeah, and there was a few tries in that second half where if you'd seen them in isolation, I think we said it on commentary, they actually summed up the game nicely, and that's a good example because it's lovely footwork from James Hume and he does well, and the bust from Werner Koch and lots of lovely play, but some woeful tackling as we're about to go through and see a bit more of.
Yeah. Having said that, you were absolutely purring about Werner Koch's second score. It was just superb build-up play from Ulster, patience, hands, attacking lines all over the place. You loved this, Darren.
Yeah, I love how flat the forwards are playing, but how short the passes are, and you look at how slick this is, getting flat, players holding their feet, and like it's Postlethwaite that was, and that was why we ended up giving player of the match. There was a few players that could have got it, but he had big influences, Stevie, at big times. This is when the game was kind of on a knife edge, and you just wonder would Ulster pull away. I love how he fights off the sideline in that instance, gets the ball back into two hands, and Werner Koch was another player who played really, really well. You see it again from the other angle. It's 4v3. Mark Sexton will be absolutely loving watching that back. That's the kind of thing you practice on the training pitch all week.
And it was Jude Postlethwaite that made the bust that led to that try, which was about 20 seconds before that. So, two big involvements by him.
We will be talking about him a little bit later on. It's that re-involvement that has really been different, I think, this season, hasn't it? Players are involved several times within the same move, working really, really hard, and in defence as well, Darren. The work ethic is big this season.
Yeah, well, prior to this game, it's actually some of the defence that's really impressed me. Like Ulster for the last number of years, I think, have been good ball in hand. I thought it was particularly prominent tonight. We asked Nathan about it, the turnover ball. But a couple of the games, I just feel like there's just been a real edge and intensity in defence. I feel like there's times in the past couple of years where they've been passive and they've let teams run at them. And again tonight, it really is the story of two teams. I can't figure out is the narrative 3 cheers for Ulster or Benetton were absolutely dreadful. I think it was a bit of both. But credit to Ulster, they got the job done, didn't they?
Absolutely. Let's have a look at the penalty try. It led to the yellow cards. Benetton finished with 14 men for quite a period. What did you think of this, Stevie?
Yeah, I totally agree with the referee. Again, you just, KV talking about the short hands, and it doesn't matter if it's Callum Reid or if it's Tom O'Toole or if it's Charlie Irvine or Harry Sheridan. Everybody's comfortable with the ball in hand, and the little balls out the back, plenty of options, quick hands by Dave McCann, Baloucoune to give the ball, and Ratave comes in. The old Fijian Drua, old boy trying to get away with one, and you might have got away with that a couple of years ago, but when you reach out with one hand like that, and there was no cover coming there, and that's definitely a penalty try, so the right decision. But big Giorno Augustus doesn't get his try because he would easily have ran that one in.
And then Ulster made them pay not just for the penalty try, but obviously hit them hard whenever they had a man down. The Harry Sheridan score was great as well, Darren.
Yeah, some lovely attack from Ulster. I think this is the one where there was a lovely line from Jacob Stockdale. As I said on commentary at the time, you can't see the wide shot here, but I was screaming for Harry Sheridan, and that was the one I mentioned on comms, a great snapshot of the game. Good attack from Harry Sheridan, really good finish, but That is absolutely dreadful attacking. So I think credit to Ulster, great result, great performance. This was an important fixture for them. When they sit down at the start of the season, these are the ones where you have to get your 4 or 5 points. And when you see that league table, I don't expect Ulster to be in the top 4 at the end of the season, but I think they only got 35 odd points last year in the whole season. They're already on 21, so great result for them.
Why do you not think they'll be in the top 4 at the end of the season?
I just think in the first half today, I think it showed. I just don't think at the top level they have that absolute physicality. I think when you see the back row going down the 15 channels and those backs going on the front foot, they're so dangerous. But I just have concerns about the front 5. I asked Nathan Doak off air, and he definitely is uncertain about the injury to Ian Henderson. Not only that he didn't see it happen, but that I got the impression he was a little worried about it. The same for Matty Dalton, and it's not a position where Ulster have a lot of depth. You want big bruisers in the second row, and the tank's a bit empty, and it's all very well beating a weakened Benetton team, but it's not going to beat it's not going to win a massive.
You do have Angus Bell though coming too. I mean, he's here.
You just took the words out of my mouth. Yeah, you have Angus Bell, Rob Herring, and put Tom O'Toole back at tight head, or Scotty Wilson, who went okay tonight. Yes, the second row, that's the engine room. That's where a lot of the power comes from, especially in set piece. When those dominant scrums from South Africa over the last couple of weekends that we've watched on our TVs, that's just not the front row. That's the big second rows, the big massive Peter Steph Dutoy in the back row, adding 115, 120 kgs there. And that's what Ulster maybe don't have. They are maybe a little bit lightweight in that area, so it is an area of concern, especially with 2 big units in Ian Henderson and Matty Dalton being out injured, and we'll hopefully hear more about how long that's going to be for soon.
We had Rory Best before the game as well. First phone call now to David Humphreys to ask for a few quid.
A few heavy lads
to bring in the cavalry in the second row.
Let's have a look at the Rob Baloucoune's try. If there are concerns about Ulster in the tight 5, there's no concerns about this back 3 unit at the moment.
Kavy and I were debating up in the commentary position who to give the player of the match to, and I think it was Baloucoune or Jude Postlethwaite, and I think Baloucoune, straight after we announced it, scored this try. He was electric all night. Didn't really put a foot wrong. Maybe just the one that there was a little knock on down the touchline. Maybe probably swayed us towards Postlethwaite.
But it could have been a hat trick if his second hat trick in 2 Ulster games if he'd managed to hold on to that.
But he is just frightening gas. Like he really does, and he'd scare any back 3 when he's coming out. And even when he was in the tight exchanges in the far side in the first half, when there was no room for him, he put the head down and still got 2 or 3 yards and got some momentum into the game. So yeah, he's not just an out and out pacey winger. He's definitely got a bit more to that.
And again, sorry to repeat myself, but another snapshot of the game. Lovely crisp attack. That wee fade from Jacob Stockdale just gets round the edge, but dreadful defence. I do think people underestimate with Robert Baloucoune.
Darren Cave, defence coach for Benetton next year.
If the money's right, yourself
if the money's right.
No, people underestimate what about him? Do you think?
Just how wiry and physical he is, because he looks like a runner. He is thin, but you can see how he steps off his ride and he twists and he turns and he's wiry. He's very difficult to tackle. Knees and elbows all over the show. Did really well to take that try.
He certainly did. As did Jude Postlethwaite inside him, who was superb again. Your pick for man of the match, Stevie. What was it that most stood out for you about the way he played tonight?
He's just... Well, first of all, he didn't make a mistake. Not one mistake tonight did he make. The outside break here, yes, he did sort of try his best to butcher it, but he maybe had that planned in his head. He just maybe left it a second too late. I think he's got a massive bumper fend. He leads with the ball an awful lot, but because he's so strong upper body-wise, he can get away with it. He does have a bit of pace. I think he does have pace. He's sort of that languid, sort of long stride on him. And yeah, I think he's certainly one for the future, but he just needs to stay fit. And he's gotten a little bit of a run with Stuart McCluskey out injured. And who knows, come with Six Nations, if there's another injury to one of the other lads, he could find himself getting another cap.
Yeah, and Ireland have loads of centres, but the thing about him, they actually don't have many at that age profile. It's great to see Tom Farrell playing for Ireland, and he really deserves it, but I think we are crying out for the next crop. I think he's a player that not only suits rugby in 2025. When people say, what does a modern day centre look like? It's exactly that. Really robust, good footwork, can pass the ball, can kick the ball, and I think he's a player that Andy Farrell will absolutely love. He's the exact profile of centre that he likes, and I think we're going to see him in green in the next couple of years.
Andy Farrell might be one of his future coaches. Richie Murphy is his current coach. Let's get his thoughts.
Richie, 35 unanswered points in the second half. You must be pleased with how the game's ended up.
Yeah, massively. I thought we actually started the game pretty well and, got off the line a couple of times in the first half, didn't quite get the ball down. To come in sort of 1 point down at half-time was a bit disappointing, but guys regrouped it really well and we kept doing what we were doing and I suppose the pressure paid in the end.
And was the message just keep doing what you're doing and it will start to open, or did you change anything?
Not really, no. We just looking after the ball a little bit better when we were inside the 22. Obviously getting over there's probably 14 points in the first half that we left behind us. There's a couple of things went against us, and it was from a decision point of view, was disappointing in the first half. But once we got it back into our flow in the second half, I thought we looked really good. Very satisfying. 5 points. We go into a different competition now.
You must be happy with how the team regrouped, losing Ian Henderson just before kick-off. Matthew Dalton unfortunately goes off injured, and Big Charlie comes on and nearly plays the whole game.
Yeah, it's amazing. Charlie was here tonight as injury cover. He was due to play for Queen's tomorrow, and within 2 minutes he's into the game. So those guys that do turn up as we call them 24th man. You always have to be ready to go, and I thought Charlie done really well today. He was his second cap today. Big man, big engine, and he kept going all the way through the game.
And Jude Postlethwaite got player of the match. Obviously Stuart McCluskey's had so much hype with his performances for Ireland, but it's great to have guys chomping at the bit, putting pressure on everybody in terms of team selection.
Yeah, definitely. Jude has been brilliant for us for the last year. There's certain things in his game that we need to keep on improving, but give him the ball, let him carry. Very direct, very strong, really good defender. Another brilliant player coming through the system, and it was nice to see Bryn Ward out there for his second cap tonight. He thought he looked very, very good. You could see the dynamic nature of his game as well. So some good young lads coming through.
That's exciting, Richie. Well done.
Thank you.
Let me remind you what Ulster's next outing is. They host Racing 92 in the Challenge Cup on Friday night at 8 o'clock on Premier Sports 1. At the same time, Sale Sharks are entertaining Glasgow Warriors in the Champions Cup on Premier Sports 2. Then Irish provinces Leinster and Munster both open their Champions Cup campaigns on Saturday. Leinster welcome Harlequins to Dublin from 5:30 on Premier Sports 1, and Munster are away in Bath at 8 o'clock on the same channel. Neither of you two gents ever played in the Challenge Cup. Does that change the mindset for Ulster this week, Stevie, at all?
A Mickey Mouse competition, isn't it? I'm only joking. I think it's really exciting. I think over the last couple of years, when we've come up against teams, and as Kavy has talked about, teams blowing Ulster away physically, I don't think that's going to obviously happen as often in the Challenge Cup. And the fans are like, oh, we're not good enough at the minute to get into the Champions Cup. We're not good enough. We're not there. We need to get a good run in the Challenge Cup, and I think everybody's excited about that. I think, okay, let's get behind the boys. They believe they're playing some really good rugby in the URC. Now they've got a chance to showcase that in the Challenge Cup, and obviously a huge game, huge fixture next week against Racing 92.
Yeah, and in the professional area, this club is built on, and this stadium is built on massive European Cup nights in the Champions Cup. So I don't think we should hide away from the fact that, like, the fans initially were disappointed. They didn't want to be here. Having said that, where the club's at right now, I absolutely think it's the best thing for them. I think it's been such a long time since Ulster have won a trophy. I think it's going to be really difficult for them to win the URC. They can do it, but I think I'm not sure they're at that top level. They would be nowhere near it in the Champions Cup. I, as an Ulster fan, I'm excited about seeing them with the opportunity to go on a journey and go and try and play in a quarter-final, try and play in a semi-final, try and compete for a trophy with these young group of players. They're not going to do that if they're in the Champions Cup, so I hope they're aggressive with it. They really, really attack it. It's a great opportunity for them.
It's Racing first. What do we know about them this season?
Well, first of all, they're going to show a lot of power. In the French, in the top 14, usually when you go away from home, you make a lot of changes. You target your home games. It's all about the home crowd. It's all about getting that momentum in your home games. And then when you go away from home, it's almost like, not that you forget about those games, but if you look at the whole, it's not just Racing 92, it's every team in the top 14. So Will they have a different approach? Will they try and blood a lot of new talent using the Challenge Cup for that? We'll wait and see what team selection comes on Thursday or Friday of next week. But I would hope that they'll bring a really strong squad, because I want to see this Ulster team tested. I want to see where they're at, because I think they're in a good place. But if they can put it up against a Racing 92 side next week that's nearly fully loaded, then that will give us a really good idea of just where they're at.
What are you expecting from them, Darren?
Yeah, well, it's not the Champions Cup, but it's a really, really big European team in Belfast. Totally agree with Stevie. Not sure what the selection will be like, but I'll tell you one thing, it'll be a big group of men that come here to take Ulster on up front, and it'll be a great challenge for these young players, and hopefully a great night for them.
Let's hope so indeed. Darren, Stevie, thank you very much. Great to have your company this evening. Ulster will, of course, go into that with their tails up. They've won 4 out of 5 and another 6 tries to their booty tonight. See you next week. Bye for now.